Hey everyone, it's SweetOTOONS, and welcome to my first ever animated storytime video. I've been super excited to get into these, so let's get started. My life, for the most part, is pretty uneventful. Actually, about 90% of it is just me staying at home, playing video games, and yeah. But then there's the other 10% of my life where things are actually pretty crazy and some weird stuff happens every once in a while. I swear it's like I go on one giant adventure and then for the rest of the year, I'm just hibernating in my cave. I'll be lucky if I even see the sun. But with that said, I have got a lot of crazy stories to tell you guys, so I hope you're excited for this series. So here we go. Back when I was a kid, I wasn't the most courageous little guy. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit of a pushover. I spent a lot of time looking for friends and groups that were really good for me, but most of the time I was pretty lost. I remember I had one group of friends back in primary school that I wasn't very fond of. I was kind of the runt of the group and I got picked on a lot. Everyone was way cooler than me, and we didn't really like the same things. There was this one time where we all got invited over to my friend's house to watch scary movies. Now back then, I had never seen any horror movies before. I was a Disney kid. All I watched were Disney movies. And that's the way I liked it. I didn't like blood and gore or any of that stuff. It was all ugh to me. But when I heard that my friends were all hanging out together and watching scary movies, by George, I didn't want to be the one that was like, I don't watch scary movies. I'm sorry. So I built up the confidence and I decided to go. So that night my parents drove me to my friend's house and they double checked with me before they dropped me off. Are you going to be okay? And I said, of course, I love horror movies. Don't you know this? Mom, Dad, come on. So they said, okay, and they left me there. After hanging out for a bit, my friend stood up and said in a very confident voice, I'm gay. I kind of pretended not to hear him, but unfortunately everybody else had raised their hand and before I knew it, the movie was playing. I still remember what movie it was too. It was a film called Jeepers Creepers, which is about a scarecrow that comes to life in the middle of the night to stalk and kill high school students. Yep, it was I was terrified of this film. I did not want to watch. I kept holding the blanket up to my eyes so I couldn't see, but I didn't want to make it too obvious to my friends, otherwise they would tease the heck out of me. I was trying so hard not to bring any attention to myself and to just watch the movie like everybody else. Don't get scared, don't embarrass yourself. But then there was a gory scene in this movie that was just too much. Waiting for my parents to come pick me up. I was so embarrassed and I kept avoiding eye contact with my friends for a couple days after that happened. Well, I guess that's what I get for pretending I was muy macho and I could watch a big scary horror movie, even though all I ever watched was Disney. But come on, who doesn't like Disney movies? Why didn't we pop on a Disney movie? That would have been 10 times better and I wouldn't have wet my pants. Okay, I didn't wet my pants, but if I was in there for any longer, it could have happened. Oh my God, I'm glad that didn't happen. So, as you can see, I was a little bit of a scaredy cat as a kid, but luckily I grew out of it. I'm still not into gory movies because they're kind of depressing, honestly. You know, blood, death, all of that stuff. But I'm definitely not scared of that stuff anymore. In fact, I'm pretty desensitized when it comes to anything scary. I've been a couple of times where I've been caught off guard though. And sometimes it's for really dumb or weird reasons. Let me explain. So this next story happened about 4 or 5 years ago. So I was living with my family and we had a garage that we kind of revamped into a super garage. But yeah, this super garage was awesome. It was like a home away from home, even though technically I was still at home. I was lucky enough to claim this as my bedroom. It was awesome, except for the fact that some mornings I would wake up and be in zombie mode because I was so sleepy. I'd open the door to my room to leave and fall directly into the pool. Don't ask me how many times this happened. But anyways, I was home alone one night and I was just hanging out in my room, nothing out of the ordinary, when all of a sudden I heard something outside and I knew that it wasn't my parents or any of my family members because they were not home for the night. I thought it was a little weird, but it could have just been the wind or Regardless, I decided to go check it out because I was the only one home. I opened the door to my bedroom to walk outside where it was pitch black. It was about 1 o'clock at night. I searched the backyard using my phone as a flashlight, and to my surprise, there was nothing there. So I just assumed it was the wind or something and decided to walk back to my bedroom. On my way back, I started feeling paranoid, so I decided to walk to the main house and check if the door was still locked. Yay! I tugged on the glass door a couple times, and sure enough, it was locked. But then I saw something in the corner of my eye. There was something inside the house. It was sitting on my dad's computer chair in the darkness, staring directly at me. And then I realized something. It was just a blanket. I felt so stupid, but I just could not look away from it. It was... Just imagine the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter. It looks something like that. Freaked out by this. I knew it was stupid. It was just a blanket, but I couldn't stop seeing it as that distorted face. Seriously, it's like my brain was trying to make me look stupid. I ended up just inching away while still keeping my eyes glued on it. Oh no! Luckily, I didn't fall in the pool. That would have been hard to explain to my family. Anyways, those are some